Hello everyone, I welcome you all for my video lecture. Today I have come with another new concept which is called as cash flow and cash flow diagram, which is coming under the engineering economics banner related to construction management subject. But before I proceed further, let me clarify you all the agenda of today's video lecture. First, I will be explaining you what exactly the meaning of engineering economics, as our today's topic is going to be related to engineering economics. After that, I will be briefly explaining you what is cash flow, what is cash flow diagram, the various factors or parameters which are related to cash flow concept, and among those various factors only I will be explaining the first factor which is related to cash flow and cash flow diagram concept. So with this, let me start my lecture. So as I said, my first agenda point is engineering economics and its practical meaning. So here, if I want to know the practical meaning of engineering economics, let me split this parameter in two parts. In first part, I am having the word called as engineering. In my second part, I am having the word as economics. So now let us understand the meaning of engineering. So as already we know that the very basic or the very generalized meaning of engineering is, the first way of understanding the engineering parameter is finding out a proper solution for our problem, and the another way of understanding or the another meaning of engineering is making the things very much easier which is suitable to our condition. So these are some of the practical meanings of a parameter called as engineering. One is finding out the best solution for our problem, and one more is making our things very much easier. So now let us go for another parameter in the engineering economics world, that is economics. So now the meaning of economics is, in a very simple manner, how I can understand this parameter is, it is very simple. If I found the answer for the question, how much benefits I am getting out of my efforts, how much benefits I am getting out of my investment. If I found the answer for this question, that itself will become the meaning for the economics world. That means if I am investing some amount of money, so out of that money, how much benefits I am getting, that itself will be represented by a technical parameter called as economics. So now if I join the meaning of these two parameters, engineering and economics, so how I can summarize the practical meaning of engineering economics is to find out the best solution for my problem, to make my entire process very easier with maximum benefits, is called as engineering economics. I hope I made the concept very clear. So with this, let me take my second agenda point, that is cash flow. So now again, let me start my explanation by asking a simple question to myself, that is, what is cash flow? So now if you look at that parameter, that name itself is giving some hint to us, that is cash and flow. So already we know that in our routine life, cash means money. And now the next parameter in that word is flow. Flow is nothing but the movement of something from one place to another place. So if I apply this simple logic, if I apply this simple meaning to my cash flow parameter, that itself will be the answer for my question. So altogether, how I can summarize the practical meaning of cash flow is the movement of money from one place to another place on a particular stretch of time with a particular amount of interest. It is called as cash flow. Again I repeat, cash flow is nothing but the movement of cash from one place to another place with certain rate of interest at one particular time period. It is called as cash flow. So with this, let me go for my next agenda point, that is cash flow diagram. So again here, if you look at this parameter, the first part is almost same as already we have learned in our previous explanation, that is cash flow. The only new parameter in this new concept is diagram. So with this, what we can understand is whatever the cash flow we have in our life, in our activity, in our process, if I represent that with a systematic diagram, with a graphical representation, that itself will become the meaning of cash flow diagram. Correct? So now let us look at how exactly my cash flow diagram looks like, a graphical representation. So here, if you look at this diagram, I have drawn two various types of lines. One is a horizontal line and one more is vertical line. So now whatever the horizontal line I have drawn, it is being represented with two parameters. One is time period and second one is rate of interest, as I have mentioned in my definition. And now when I come to the vertical lines, there are two different types of vertical lines. One is upward vertical line and second one is downward vertical line. So here, what is the difference between these two different types of vertical lines? The first one, the downward vertical line, what I have drawn with respect to my horizontal line, is representing my cash flow but in negative manner. So negative is representing my outflow. So after that, at one more end, what vertical line we are seeing, that is upward vertical line, which is representing again a cash flow, but the sign is positive. This positive sign is representing my cash inflow. So now here, the very simple meaning of positive and negative signs or cash inflow and cash outflow means, cash inflow means the total revenue or a certain amount what I am getting to myself. The very best example for that what we can have is our salary. Then the very best example what we can have for our cash outflow, which is being represented with negative sign. For that we can have the example as, so after getting our salary for our life, so we will be having some of our expenditures. The example for our expenditure is the EMI what we pay for our housing loans, the EMIs what we pay for our vehicular loans. And one more example what we can have is for our daily bread and butter, whenever we go to grocery shop or whenever we go to other kinds of shop, so whatever the expenditure we do, that will be represented my cash outflow. So this is all about my cash flow diagram. So all together here, one more simple logic what I would like to tell you is the net cash flow. So here, if I want to calculate the net cash flow, it is very simple. Receipts minus disbursements. So here in this simple logic, the meaning of receipts is my cash inflow. So in my example, I was telling you about our salary, and here the disbursements is all about our expenditure, which is represented as the cash outflow. So if I deduct my entire expenditure in my total revenue of 1 month or of 1 year or of certain period, whatever the amount I get, that will be represented as my net cash flow. So now with this, let me go for the next concept of my agenda, that is the various factors of cash flow and cash flow diagram concept. So here altogether we are having 6 various factors or parameters in this concept. In that, the first one is single payment compound amount factor, and second one is single payment present worth factor. Third one is uniform series compound amount factor. Fourth one is uniform series present worth factor. Fifth one is sinking fund factor, and the last one is capital recovery factor. But among all these 6, in my today's video I will be covering only the first factor or the first parameter, which is called as single payment compound amount factor. So now let us understand this concept with a numerical problem. But before that, very quickly let me tell you what exactly this parameter is. So here, if I want to understand this parameter in more better manner, let me tell you one simple example. So now, if I am having a certain amount with me, that may be a 10,000 rupees, that may be 1 lakh rupees, or that may be 10 lakh rupees, or whatever it may be. So now if I am ready to invest that amount presently at today's scenario, and after investing my money with respect to today's situation, and after some days with a certain interest rate, how much amount I am going to get. So if I want to calculate this, whatever the factor I am having, that factor or the parameter is called as single payment compound amount factor. Again I repeat, I am having a certain amount today and I am ready to invest that amount today itself, and then I am going to keep that amount for certain duration with certain rate of interest, and after a certain duration, that may be 1 year, that may be 2 years, that may be 3 years, or that may be 10 years. So after that particular period, whatever the budget, whatever the fund, whatever the money I am going to get back after some years, after some period, so that amount is represented as the single payment compound amount factor. I hope I made this particular factor very clear. So based on this understanding, let us solve one numerical problem. So here the numerical problem what we have is, if rupees 5,000 are invested now at 8% per annum, how much will it accumulate in 10 years? So this is the numerical problem what we are going to consider. So now, before we start getting the solution, very briefly, very quickly, let me tell you the logic behind this numerical problem, so that we can understand the numerical problem in practical sense, and also we can get the solution very easily. So here the meaning of this numerical problem, or the logic behind this numerical problem, is there is a XYZ person who is ready to invest rupees 5,000, and that too when? Today itself. So now for this investment, the interest rate what he is going to get for certain duration is 8%. And after that, what we are asked to calculate is, for 5,000 rupees of investment, for the interest rate of 8%, after certain duration, that is 10 years in this numerical problem, how much amount that XYZ person is going to get. So now, after understanding the logic behind this numerical problem, we can make one thing very sure, that this numerical problem is purely related to my first factor what already I have explained, that is single payment compound amount factor. So now, to solve this numerical problem, I have to understand a simple and a fixed formula what we have for this particular factor, that is SPCAF is equal to F by P comma I comma N, that is again nothing but 1 plus I raised to N. So altogether what I mean to say here is, if I want to calculate the amount after certain duration for the investment of 5,000 rupees with 8% of interest. The formula what I have to use is F is equal to P into 1 plus I raised to N. So here the notation P we use for present worth. Present worth means the amount which I am interested to invest in certain organization today, that is being represented as P here. So 1 is a constant number, no need to worry. And after that I. So what this I is representing here, that I is representing my interest rate 8%. And after that 1 plus I raised to N. So what that N is representing, that N is representing the total year of investment, that is 10 here. So with this I made the given data very clear. The formula is F is equal to P into 1 plus I raised to N. In this the given data is P is already given, that is the present worth or the total amount which I am interested to invest today, 5,000 rupees. I means the rate of interest 8%. N means the total duration, that is 10 years. So now here F means what we are going to calculate, that is the future worth of my today's investment. So if I substitute all the given data here in this standard formula, what I am going to get is rupees 10,794 rupees 60 paisa. So now here at the end I would like to make one thing very clear, that the practical meaning of the value what we have calculated is after investing 5,000 rupees today with the rate of interest 8%, after 10 years how much amount I am going to get. And the answer what we have calculated is 10,794 rupees 60 paisa. Now the same thing, if you look at this diagram, I have represented it with cash flow diagram. So as already I had explained, the horizontal line is representing my two things. One is rate of interest and total duration. And now among these two vertical lines, one vertical line is representing my present worth and one more vertical line is representing my future worth. So in between this, the P is already given 5,000 rupees, that is how I have written here. And now F we were supposed to calculate, that is why I have written it as F is equal to question mark. So now for this given numerical problem, first we are supposed to write the given data. After that we are supposed to write this formula SPCAF, or F is equal to P into 1 plus I raised to N. After that I have to go for the substitution, and then I have to calculate this number along with this graphical representation, which will be fulfilling our requirement. So with this, let me understand that whatever the concepts I have covered in my video lecture so far, all of them are very clear, and I have tried my level best to make all the concepts very simple and very practical. So with this, let me end my video lecture on the cash flow diagram, which are related to construction management subject of engineering economics. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you all have enjoyed and got the knowledge related to cash flow and cash flow diagram. Thank you everyone.